We have seen weakness in Apple stock, AAPL, since the beginning of the year as it has underperformed many of the market leaders like Microsoft and even Google Alphabet. So where are we right now? Why are we seeing weakness, and could it be a good opportunity to time your entry to potentially ride the reversal back up again? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier myself, trader in Philips Securities, and in this video, I'll be talking about Apple stock. We'll dive into the chart to see where we are right now, what are some of the key levels that have came out over the past few months, and so we'll dive into some of the news that have came out for Apple, the reason why we are seeing weakness, and what has affected Apple, I would say, over the past couple of weeks. So one of the main reasons for the weakness that we've seen in Apple over the past couple of months would be due to Apple iPhone sales plunging. I mean, kind of like falling quarter by quarter over the past few months, and this is due to growing competition from many of the Chinese rivals like Huawei and Xiaomi. So there is a positive news that came out over the past few days, and that would be the share buyback for Apple. So I'll talk more about that. Apple's revenue has dipped for a fifth consecutive quarter, driven by the steepest decline in iPhone sales since the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. And from this news, you can see that the sales of iPhone fell 10%, right? 10% to 45.7 billion. As I mentioned, there's growing competition from Huawei and Xiaomi. So that's one of the news that's affected Apple, I would say, over the past couple of months as the sales continue to slow in the China market. So sales in Greater China, you can see one of Apple's most important markets, it fell to $16.4 billion from $17.8 billion year on year. That would be like about a 8% decline. All right, and this sales drop marked the biggest slump since the third quarter of 2020, when factory closures due to COVID kind of like delayed the release of the iPhone 12. So that's one of the main reasons why we are seeing weakness in Apple's stock price over the past couple of months due to the sales falling, right? But over the past few days, in fact, just on Thursday, Apple kind of reported this share buyback. Apple stock rose nearly 6% in aftermarket trading as Apple announced that it would buy back $110 billion of its own stock and raise its quarterly dividend by 4% to 25 cents a share. So Apple also has another product called the Vision Pro, which is a mixed reality kind of a headset that people can wear, and that is the company's or Apple's only new product released since the Apple Watch in 2015. So that has yet to contribute significantly to sales numbers compared to the iPhone. Another reason why we are seeing weakness in Apple stock is due to the company's perception that it is kind of like falling behind its rivals like Microsoft and even Google in the race to develop and roll out their AI products and AI capabilities, right? Artificial intelligence, the buzzword since about 1 or 2 years back. So of course, Apple's CEO Tim Cook has sought to assure analysts that the company has AI products in the works, it's still in production, and we believe in the transformative power and promise of AI, and we believe we have advantages that will differentiate us in this new era. Okay, so let's take a look at Apple stock right now that is trading at about $173 US. So you can see for Apple, right, over the past 6 to 8 months, we have been kept below this very key resistance level at the $200. Look at this, right? We kind of touch it, we almost neared it, and we just couldn't get above that $200 resistance level since, I would say, in July last year. All right, and we have found a pretty good support, I would say, somewhere around the $165. That was where we rebounded as well, somewhere in October. And you can see right now we are kind of approaching this very key support level at the 165 level. So since the beginning of 2023, right over here, you could see that we started to see a very strong rebound with the short-term trend. The 20 days moving average line started to reverse back up. You can see, right, this green line is pointing up, flat up, all the way until we headed towards that 200, right? So this 20 days moving average would give us kind of an indication of the short-term trend. So when it is pointing down, you can see that's where we kind of sold off as well. We rebounded back up, and you can see prices went up towards the 200 level again. And over the past, I would say 2 to 3 months, you can see that the 20 days moving average, this green line actually started to slope down. Does it make sense? All right, started to slope down, and that's the reason why we are seeing prices going lower and lower, all right, and heading towards this 165 support levels. What can we potentially do with Apple based on this current price? Well, I would say that right now 165 seems to be a pretty good support. Let me just draw this zone right over here. As I mentioned, we have rebounded a couple of times from it. So that's potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again. All right, and the fact here is that this 20 days moving average line, you can see right over here, when we approached it somewhere in October, it started to flatten out and maybe even started to point up, right? And when it started to point up, that's where there were signs of the short-term trend turning up as well, and the rally actually happened. So right now you can see that based on this 20 days moving average, it was like down, 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 flat, down, and it has started to flatten out, I would say. It is not really like pointing down, because if it does continue to point down, we may even break the 165 support level. So you can see right now, at least it has started to flatten out, which means that this 165 support level, now we are seeing some buying pressure coming back. Prices have held above it for, I would say, more than a month now, and it seems like a pretty good support whereby we may even see a rebound from it, right? So what is the next resistance level? I would say that there would be a resistance maybe somewhere around this level, the $180. You can see 180 is pretty much where we were supported here, supported beginning of the year, and pump, we broke down somewhere in March, and you can see we started to trade all the way down. Since then, we swing up, swing down, up, down, up, down, up, and we are kind of like in this range from about 165 to about 180. So that is the range right now. You can see from about 165 to 180 we might consolidate here, and in order for more upside or for the reversal to really happen, we need to kind of like, you know, break back above the 180 level right over here. That would be where we can head towards the 200 psychological resistance level again, right? But at least right now there is some signs of the short-term trend, right, starting to stabilize, not pointing down aggressively. We have started to see some support coming back at 165. So if you kind of like take an entry near the support level around 165 to 170, you can see it's about an 8% upside. Of course, if it breaks 180, that would be another 10% upside to 200, right? So you want to have a plan as well. I mean, if you're going for like a short-term trade, you could time your entry to get in near the 165 to 170 support level with a plan to stop loss, maybe to get out if the 165 were to break down. Maybe if you guys go to like 162 or 161 or maybe below 160, you want to have a plan to get out as well, because that's where we may even see more weakness. And when that happens, I would say that the 20 days moving average, this green line, would actually slope down even more. All right, so that's what you could do in terms of taking a trade on Apple. But right now, it seems like over the past 1 month, 165 buyers are starting to come back out, right? But we still, face selling pressure just right below the 180. Let me just draw it for you. You can see right over here, selling is actually coming back. So let me just put it in red color. You can see that that's potentially where you might want to take some profit again, all right, in terms of an 8% upside from 165 to about 180. So that's it for Apple, guys. I've pretty much covered the chart for Apple to see where we are right now, what are some of the key levels or targets whereby we could potentially head to, and you might want to take some profit near there as well if we do rebound. And we have covered some of the news affecting Apple in terms of the weakness we have seen over the past 2 months. So hopefully we see sales or the iPhone sales in China slowly picking up quarter on quarter, and also this new virtual reality product called Vision Pro, right? It's a virtual reality headset by Apple that's retailing for $3,500. It is selling in low quantities right now, not really contributing effectively to overall sales in Apple. But if that picks up, all right, Tim Cook mentions that it is just scratching the surface. He's very excited about the entire opportunity of this virtual reality headset. So if that sales pick up from that product as well, that could be a positive for Apple as well over the next couple of months. So Joey here, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. If you like this video, guys, go to give me a like, smash the subscribe button as well so that you will not miss out on videos like this. And thank you so much for doing it. And if you want to have access to some of my top US stocks, you can check out this premium service called The Monthly Edge, right? And this service is where we share some of the top US stocks. We have more than 30 over stocks in the portfolio right now, and we release 2 new US stocks every single month. You get access to this secret Google sheet as well. I'll just place the link below in this video, and that's how you can find out a bit about this service called The Monthly Edge. Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.